Welcome back to the Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. This is episode number 11. We are 11 weeks in. And you guys, I'm super proud of myself. I have been consistent with this podcast for 11 weeks. Now, sometimes I post, I upload it midday on Tuesdays? Yes. But more of the story is, it gets uploaded on Tuesday for you guys to listen to. And so I hope you've enjoyed it thus far. But yeah, sometimes you got to give yourself a pat on the back. So often in life, we're so down on ourselves or so hard on ourselves because we feel like we're not where we want to be. But if you can see that you're making strides every day to get to where you want to go, and you can look back like, hey, 6 months ago, I was at this point, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, all of the above, whatever it may be. And it's like, hey, now I'm at this point where, I'm doing the X, Y, Z in the third, or I have this lined up and I'm working towards this to get this done. So be proud of yourself, especially if you're doing something positive, if you're doing something that you love to do. Just stick with it. I know entrepreneurship can be hard. It can be difficult at times. So definitely just stick with it because it's gonna take off. You just got to give it some time. But anyways, as you all know, this podcast is titled Where to Find Products to Sell. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on in the podcast because I think it's imperative that you know where to find products to sell. Because oftentimes I'm like, hey, start a business, do this, find a side hustle, create multiple streams of income. But you're like, hey, okay, I got it, but how do I do it? Where do I find these products? Where do I find this merchandise? How do I put this content out? And so I'm going to give you those tools. I'm giving you the game for free. Like they say, the hustle is sold separately. All right. But before I go into that, sorry, you guys. All right, here we go. But before I go into that and talking about resources to find products, I want to talk about market profitability. And as you guys know, I love to give you the textbook definition. And so if you were to look up market profitability, it's going to say it measures the net profit earned by a business within a particular market. Excuse me. So when it comes to creating your business or side hustle, you have to know its market profitability. Because so many times we talk about quitting our 9-to-5s and, like, hey, this 9-to-5 is taking up my time and I just don't like it, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. And hey, you are not alone because I'm in the same boat with you. But just remember that a 9-to-5 is funding that business. And so that's a good thing. But I do understand, trust me, I do understand and I'm with you. What I like about this quarantine or this pandemic in a sense is that, hey, I'm able to pretty much work from home, get on my laptop, do like some emails out, some tasks out, and then I turn back around on my other computer and I'm getting my personal computer and I'm getting other stuff done for the business or brand or either things outside of the brand in particular. And so I'm just happy about this. I'm not stressed out or sad about the pandemic because I'm actually able to get a lot done that I know I would be able to get done if I was going to the office every day. And I know I wouldn't be able to get half the things I'm doing now done if I was going into work, whatever time that may be, getting off, working 8 hours, all that good stuff. So use this time to your advantage. And hey, use that 9-to-5 to your advantage because if you don't have a lot of time, if you're working from home, for example, where you can do a few tasks in 2 hours and then you have the rest of the hours to lollygag or work on your own stuff, use that to your advantage so you can get your money, and use that money to fund your business. Like Chris Johnson always says, get money by income. So follow him on Instagram. He's a pretty good person that a lot of good gems he has. But anyways, like I said, you have to know what type of money a particular business is going to bring in, and then you have to know what type of profits, what you want that profit to go towards. So say you have business XYZ. Do you want that extra money to go towards rent, your car note? You want to pay your phone bill, your car insurance, your daycare fees if you have kids. Do you want to get your hair done, your hair cut, your nails done, ladies? What is it that you want that profit to do for you? Because some people can be like, hey, I just wanted to pay my car insurance and I'm good. Or other people can be like, hey, I just wanted to pay for this trip I'm trying to go on every other month. Whatever that may be, whatever your situation is, figure out what you wanted to pay and find a business or side hustles that can sustain that income goal that you have. So have that income goal in mind for that business, and then you can find a business that can sustain that income goal. I hope I didn't say that too fast for you guys. Because this is why you should do this, because not every business is going to bring you income like you like to see. You may say, hey, I want to make $2,300 a month on the side. Just because you start a business doesn't mean you're going to make $2,300 a month, because business X may make you $1,000 a month, or business Y may make you $300 every other month, and so on and so forth. And I don't care how good at marketing products you are, how good you are at marketing or sales, because if you're selling something that's not in demand, or if it's oversaturated in the market, or if it was a trend a month ago and now that trend is over, it's not going to sell like you want it to. I don't care how good of a marketer you are. And this is especially true when it comes to apparel, in my opinion, because I see a lot of people talk about like, hey, I'm going to start a clothing brand and stuff like that. And what I had to realize early in the game, which I'm thankful for learning, is that when you're selling shirts, shorts, hats, all this stuff like that, apparel, the profit margin is going to be extremely low unless you're buying in bulk. And I don't mean bulk like 50 shirts, 100 shirts. I mean like 3, 4, 500 shirts. That's how you're going to make that huge profit margin. And I know a lot of times you see companies that sell shirts for $5, $6, $10, whatever the case may be. That's good, but they produce a massive amount of shirts, and their shirt quality may not be as good because their cost for you to purchase it is so low. And so think about that concept, whatever business that you want to go into, because all markets going to have different profits. You know, it's going to be some items that you can sell that are in $1 billion industry, while other products you sell, it just isn't the case. It's just in the same thing, and there's nothing that you can do about it in a sense. You just have to know what type of industry I'm in and what the margin is for profit. And so a good way to do this is if you're the type of person that's like, hey, I want the income every month. I want to make extra $300 every single month. And then you're probably going to need a product that people are going to always need no matter what is going on in the world. So a good thing to do is walk around your home. Think about the things that people are going to use no matter what's going on in the world, pandemic or not, whatever the case may be. You know, I got extra $100 to spend, or I got an extra $50, whatever the case may be. I don't know. Figure out what people are going to need. For example, the pandemic. Food restaurants are open. The food industry is open. Why? Because food is essential. Liquor store is open. Is liquor really essential? Hey, to each his own. But you get what I'm saying. So walk through your house and figure out, okay, regardless of what's going on, what do I buy all the time? And what do I buy that's something that I can sell, find it, wholesale to sell to people. And so walk around your house, y'all. I did this about a week ago, and I found a product. I'm not going to tell you guys what I found. Still doing some research though. But when it clicked for me, it clicked. And so do the same thing. You know, if you got to walk around your house, you got the lights on, and you got to figure out, okay, what am I going to sell that's going to make me some money every single month? What is a necessity that people are going to use all the time? Start there. That can be a place for you to start if you don't know what you want to sell, but you want to make income every single month off this business. And so yeah, that's all I have to say about that topic. But now what I want to talk about is something that I came up with yesterday. I talked about a business plan in the last few podcasts. I forgot what podcast episode it was. I talked about a business plan. And what I'm going to talk about right now is that as an entrepreneur, I know guys are going to have so many things that you come up with in your head. Just last night, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, it's a challenge to be an entrepreneur, because there are so many ideas. At least for me personally, there are so many ideas that come to my mind. It's like, man, how do I decide if this is a good idea to take off with? If I should use this idea or trash this idea, how do I know which one to go forward with? And, it's like I feel like I'm all over the place sometimes. And I think a good way to do this is to decipher through this is to create a business plan. So go back to my last few podcasts to see which one I talk about a business plan, so you can see the template of a business plan, or purchase a webinar to get an in-depth snapshot of what the business plan is, and all the good stuff. But create a business plan. If you have so many ideas in your head and you don't know which one is a good idea to start with, create a business plan, because what that business plan is going to allow you to do is going to allow you to sit down for, whether if you have a one pager for a business plan, you may have to sit down for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Or if you have, an extensive, you're going to have a brick and mortar store or something that's a little bit more extensive, you're going to be sitting down for a few hours, and it's going to allow you to research and then really talk to yourself and walk yourself through those steps of, hey, do I really want to do this? Or what's the risk going to be? What's the profit margin going to be? That's what that business plan is going to help you accomplish. And because you may get halfway through the business plan and you're like, you know what? I'm good. I don't think I want to do this no more. That's not a bad thing, because one, you were able to sit down for an extended period of time and research something that you thought was going to be a good idea, and then you were able to make an educated decision based on your research and based on you knowing who you are as a person, if you could actually fulfill that or see that grow into what you wanted it to be. And so write that business plan out. It's going to help you in the long run, because you don't want to. You can easily, I can say, hey, you can easily think of 10 ideas in 1 week, and you can put money into each 10 of those ideas, and you only do one of them. Now you wasted, hundreds of thousands of dollars on these 9 other ideas or products or services, where you could have put all your effort into that one to make that one better. And so think about that as entrepreneurs, as we're always thinking of so many different things. Create that business plan, write that business plan out, because that's what I'm doing right now. I have a new idea, 2 new ideas actually. One I'm still doing research on, getting samples, but the other one I'm actually going to start tomorrow with writing out an extensive business plan. I'm going to tell you guys how I'm going to do this in a few more minutes, because I have a good tidbit for you. If you're going to have this super extensive business plan and you need to do some research. But hey, stay tuned. Let's keep going. But like I said, if you're an entrepreneur that you're all over the place, a really good place to start from is Damon John. He has some good advice, and I think it's pretty essential for you to for this advice, especially if you're all over the place. As you guys know, or you may not know, Damon John is the founder of FUBU, and he's on Shark Tank. He's one of the sharks on Shark Tank, been on there since the very, very season. And he talked about this concept a few weeks ago, because one of the girls on his Instagram was like, hey, there's so many things I want to do. How can I combine these things and put them in one business? And he was like, you know what? Think about the one area that you had the most passion in and start with that. So you may have 10 things that you love to do, but you may have one that you're passionate about, that you just eat, sleep, and breathe, that you just love it because, it's truly your passion. He's saying, start there. And then eventually you're going to be able to combine all those other things that you love, all those other 8 or 9 things that you love, into that one thing, and it all makes sense. So for me, for example, with me personally, my passions are giving back to the community. I like just giving advice on my Instagram. If you follow my personal page, I like giving advice. I like just dropping gems about certain things. It can be anything. It can be any spectrum or whatever. Then I also love working with kids. And so from time to time, I like creating a different shirt concept. I like creating my own clothing to wear. Something simple, something very cost effective, lasts a long time. And so that's what I love to do. Those are all of the things that I like to do. And so for me, I was able to combine all those things into one business, which is of course the Young Entrepreneurs brand. So we have the webinars. We have the weekly tweets on our Instagram page to help guide you or guide your thinking. We have the podcast where I'm talking to you, giving you advice, or just telling you some of the things that I've been through as an entrepreneur, and some of the things that others may go through. And then we have the apparel where I can release clothing. And then we also have the Kidpreneur Grant, which I haven't did this year, but I can interact with young kids and help them reach their entrepreneur goals. And so for me, I was able to combine all those things that I love, that I'm passionate about, into one. But as you see, it all makes sense. There is not nothing left field. It's not like, hey, I'm selling hot dogs with the brand because I just like selling hot dogs. It all makes sense, And so start with that passion, like he's talked about. Start with that one thing that you're passionate about, and then see if you can build around those other things with what you like to do. And I think that's a really good place to start. Really, really great place to start. Because if you see, what did I talk about? Clothing. I talked about webinars. I talked about the podcast. That in itself is 2 or 3 businesses out of all those things I named. But I made it into one because ultimately they all go hand in hand with each other. And so like I said, it all leads back to you doing your research. Find out what other businesses or brands are doing that are out there that are similar to yours or similar to what you want to do. Know your competition. Know what their strengths and weaknesses are. And use those to your advantage. Use social media to your advantage. There are going to be people talking about everything on social media. On YouTube. On Google. As I say, YouTube University. Find those resources that you need. Research all that stuff that you need to know. And it'll help you make better decisions about how you want to go about executing your vision, your business plan, or your business or your side hustle. But speaking of a business plan, If you're actually going to take your business seriously and you're going to go to LLC and you want to legally form it, create a business plan. This business plan is going to help you out so much, so much. I promise you guys, it really is. It's going to keep you focused when you do start your business, and it's going to also help you out before you even start a business. Hey, if this is something you really want to do or not, like I said earlier. And because me personally, I'm actually in the process of planning another business right now. And right now I'm just in a research stage. So what I'm doing tomorrow is I'm going to write out this extensive, it's probably going to be at least, I don't know, at least at minimum 7-8 pages of, and it's going to be extensive research. But what I'm going to do for a few parts of the business plan, I'm going to need some industry analysis. I'm going to need some customer analysis, the competitive analysis, operations plan, marketing plan. So this is what I'm going to do, you guys. And this is what you guys need to think about. This is how you guys need to think as entrepreneurs. To get those last few parts I talked about, like industry analysis, like knowing, hey, when this place opens, when it closes, who is their target audience, what are their business hours, when is their peak time, when is their low season, all that stuff like that. I can do this by 3 ways. I can attack this in 3 ways to get this information. I can just scroll through Google and find data just like that. It may take some time, but I can eventually find it, hopefully, because it's a newer concept. Or 2, I can call around to these businesses and see what their employees are willing to tell me about the business, because I'm just asking questions as a customer. I'm just calling as a customer to get my answers like that. And so some of my employees may be ready to get off the phone with you, and some of them may be like, oh yeah, well such and such, giving you everything. They don't even realize they're giving you the good stuff that you actually need in order to put in your business plan. Or 3, which is what I just thought about today. This is what I plan on doing. A little finesse, but hey, this is how you got to think as an entrepreneur to get what you need, where you need to go. What I'm going to do is email the businesses. I'm going to email multiple businesses of the same business sector. And I'm going to ask them, hey, can I interview the owner or the manager via phone or email? Because I'm doing a research project for school about market analysis. And I've been tasked to choose, one business to do research on. And I chose your business because I've been here before. Now, have I been there before? Probably not. But they don't know that. Now, this is what is this going to allow me to do? This is going to allow me to reach out to them, talk to their manager or their owner. And it's going to be coming from a student in this perspective. I'm a student. I am getting my master's degree. But if you're not a student, hey, use this to your advantage, And I can say, hey, yeah, I'm doing this project and I want to ask these questions. I already have these questions I'm going to ask. And I'm like, hey, it's going to help me, write this paper I need to do, or do this presentation, whatever it may be. And now, of course, I'm going to reach out to multiple businesses because I need to have multiple aspects within that business plan. But I'm going to have my questions ready. And I'm going to all make it sound like as if it's a part of a school project in a sense. And from there, I'm going to get my answers for what I need to get to put on my business plan. Because now they won't necessarily be my competitors, but I'll be in their industry. So my data is going to be accurate within that business plan. Because sometimes if I was to call and say, hey, yeah, I want to open up this type of place, can you help me out? Most times that manager or owner, or most time owner is going to be like, well, we don't really know, blah, blah. Well, we'll get back to you. They're going to take you all around the world because they see you as competition. You may not even be in their region or whatever, but they're going to see you as competition because they just don't know. But if you're coming from a perspective of a student just doing research because, hey, I've been in your store a few times and I love it, and I just want to know if you can, if I can interview you, or if you don't have the time, I know you're very busy, if you can just answer these questions via email, that would also be beneficial to me to help me finish this project on time, so I can graduate in next year, blah blah, whatever the case may be. You want to sound like you are just consumed with their business, that you've been there multiple times and you love it, and go from there. Have your questions ready and go from there, because unfortunately 8 times out of 10, probably 9 times out of 10, people are not going to help you because they see you as competition. It's not, unfortunately, it's not very often that you see people helping you out because it's like, hey, I'm going to help you because someone helped me. It's unfortunate that it is that way, but that's just how it is. And so as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to navigate through to get to what you want. Not doing anything illegal, but knowing the ways to get around what you need to get. Because in that business plan, you're going to need some marketing analysis. You're going to need to know what your competition is. You're going to need to know, like, hey, the peak hours for this type of business is this time to this time. And so my business hours are going to be this time to this time. You can say their target audience is 12 to 24-year-olds or whatever the case may be. And you can say, so my target audience is going to be this. And so that when you call those businesses or you send out those emails, that's going to help you when you gain that information back from that business, that company. It's going to help you create your business plan to help you know how to run your own business, because now you call, they've already done the legwork because they've already been through it. You get their information, put it in your business plan, and now you know how to create your business plan. You know, hey, yeah, I'm going to do it this way because this worked for them. Now, it may or may not work all the time, but now you have somewhere to start from, and that's what a business plan is about. Starting from somewhere, using that, using your competition as a benefit, because now you can see what they did and what worked and what didn't work. But that's what I'm going to do these next few weeks. I'm working on that business plan to see if it's actually something I really want to do. It's been on my mind for a while now, that and another business. So I'm actually in the process of doing that as well. I think the thing about when you really starting a business or having a new venture, you really got to do a lot of research, because you got to figure out, hey, what kind of licenses do I need? What, the list goes on and on of what you need to get done. And so yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry, y'all. Let's see. Oh, I can't forget to tell you guys about the actual resources that I was going to tell you about. So before I leave, a few things. I know all the time I talk about having multiple streams of income, having a business or having a side hustle, but I need to give you the blueprint. I want to give you the blueprint on how to find these products or services that you need to get your business started. Because everybody's going to tell you, hey, start a business. Yeah, get a side hustle going. But no one is telling you where to go to. How do you find this stuff out? Could you Google it? Yeah. But it's going to take so much time trying to figure out where to go to, when you can just ask somebody, or you can just listen to this podcast and I give you the tools that you need in order to succeed. Because what this brand is about is really just ensuring that we help each other out, because you can't just go to a university or college and sit in the classroom and they teach you how to start an LLC or how to file taxes for your LLC. They're not going to teach you this stuff. And so that's why this brand is here, to really help form a community of like-minded people to work together to achieve that common goal of entrepreneurship and multiple streams of income. So here we go. If you want to sell any type of products and you want to get them at the cheap or wholesale price so you can make a higher profit, visit these two sites, Alibaba and AliExpress. So ALIBABA.com, again, ALIBABA.com, and AliExpress, AliExpress.com, Alibaba or AliExpress. Visit those two sites. Those are two like wholesale websites, so it's kind of like Amazon, but for wholesale products from vendors all over the world. And when I say all over the world, I mean everywhere. And so those are two good places to start from. Anything you're trying to, whether it be clothing, whether it be watches, whatever whatever it is you're trying to, water bottles, whatever it is you're trying to, calculators, it can be anything, pens, I don't know, whatever you're trying to sell. Go on that website and go through that process of finding a vendor and talk with multiple vendors to see, hey, I want X, Y, and Z. How much are you charging? Can I get a sample? Use those two websites and contact multiple vendors. I've been in contact with a few vendors, and I'll tell a vendor, oh, you know what, that quantity is out of my budget. I'm not trying to get that many to start off with. And I told this guy, thank you, a long time ago. I was like, hey, thank you, I'm good. Okay, I already have one person I'm going with. I want to see how that sample looks. And even now, he's like, well, how much are they giving you for this? And so I let him know. And so right now he's working, trying to get a cheaper price or work within that price range that I'm in. And so those are two good websites, Alibaba or AliExpress.com. And then for people who want to create courses, or you want to teach other people how to do things, create a PowerPoint slide, record yourself via Loom, Loom. So just like Zoom, but it's called Loom. I'm pretty sure you can do this on Zoom as well, but I personally use Loom, like for the webinar that I did. I had a PowerPoint slide, and then I would use Loom, download Loom on my computer, and then I was able to record myself in the screen, of course, just talking. Now you can also record yourself in your screen talking, or you can record your screen and then you can see like a video of you talking as well. So you have those options. So that's Loom, LOOM.com if you want to. I don't know if it's .com, but Loom if you want to create courses or content, anything of that nature. Let me see what else. And then so yeah, if you want to create courses or content, you can upload it to Google Drive, or you create your Google Drive, and then you can send people, hey, when you purchase this, send me your email, and I'll add your email address to that Google Drive, so you have access to that course, that webinar, whatever the case may be. Or you can purchase this thing called Gumroad, Gumroad. This is a monthly service fee, so it's $10 a month, and then it goes up depending on how much money you make from whatever course you provide. So that's another option as well. You can zip your file up, upload it to Gumroad. Oh, excuse me, you guys. Upload it to Gumroad and all that stuff there. Same thing, but Google Drive is going to be free, of course. So when people pay you through your website, whatever the case may be, however you collect your money from that course, you can just use Google Drive to do that. But of course, if you're doing it at a mass volume, you might want to use Gumroad to start off with, because it's going to send the people, as soon as they purchase, it's put their email in it, it's going to send them that content. And then lastly, another resource I have out there, if you're interested in self-publishing, if you want to write your own book instead of giving your own rights away, write and edit your own book, create your own cover, get it copywritten, and then when it comes to printing hard copies of your book, use digipod.com. That's diggypod.com, and that is basically a company that, and you can go in right now to that website and get a quote and say, hey, I'm going to have 200 pages. Book is going to be this thick, normal book. It's going to be black and white. I want this many copies, and it'll tell you right then and there how much it is. And I went in there and played with it, and the actual cost is very reasonable, I think, in my opinion. And so you can use that as an option as well. The goal when it comes to entrepreneurship is to find out what you love to do, find a product or content that you can sell, and go from there. And really another thing too is, what was I going to say? Another thing is owning your stuff. I talked about that, ownership, true ownership in what you have. And so resources like digipod.com, where you can self-publish your own book, or things like Gumroad, where you can create a course and put that course out there for people to purchase, and even with products, when you create your own website instead of using Amazon. I'll knock to Amazon, but Amazon is pretty expensive when it comes to their seller fees. So, create your own and start there, because it's really about ensuring that you have the most profit so you can achieve whatever kind of income that you want to achieve. But y'all, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I think it's truly beneficial, especially this one here. So I hope you truly enjoyed it. Like I said, Alibaba, AliExpress, Gumroad, Loom, and Digipod. Those are I think that was 5 different resources that I talked about. And so use those to your advantage and figure out ways you can create that income, because it's all about creating multiple streams of income. Because if this pandemic hasn't taught you anything else, I know for a fact it has taught you not to rely on a job to pay your income, because today you may have it, tomorrow it may be gone. You never know. And so you never know what these companies will do, because you work for them. They don't work for you. But I hope I've given you some great tools you can use to sell your products or your content to get started. I think it's a great resource. A lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of times you have to buy a course for a certain amount of money, or you got to do some extensive research to find those resources that I just gave you. And so thank you for tuning in. Episode number 12 is next week on Tuesday. I'll be dropping that episode number 12. A lot of good things to talk about there. And then we'll get geared up for season number 2. We've made it 12 weeks. Next week will be 12 weeks of doing this. Consistency has been great, so I'm super proud of myself for that. And I'll see you guys next week. So thank you.